right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified channel. Today, we're going to be going over the October submissions for the HSS Song Contest. And I see we got Tim Consley already in the chat. What's up, Tim? Good to see you, buddy. Going to be listening to one of Tim's songs today, actually. The song is Not Without You. So if you're new here and you're kind of wondering what all this is all about, then let me remind you that this channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you make professional music in a less than professional space. We can dream alone, we can create alone, but together we can achieve so much more. We have superstar Chris Knowles just entered. What is up, Chris? How's it going, buddy? So before we get into today's listen together and mix critiques / production song critiques, we're also going to give some honor where honor is due. I'd like to give a big shout out to these individuals. These are the chart toppers. These folks are the ones who have kept the lights on, so to speak. These are individuals who have sponsored the channel in one way, shape, or form. If you look on the left-hand side, you see a dollar amount. That's what they have donated through the generous super chat feature that's found here on YouTube. It looks like a small money symbol or an S in your chat bar. Feel free to donate through there if you'd like, and everyone who donates any amount will get a freebie from me. Also on the right hand side here of those that are on the far left, you'll see that they are Patreon members. They have generously decided to sign up for a Patreon account where they have access to multi-tracks and Patreon only content. So thank you, each and every one of you chart toppers. You guys rule. Really appreciate all the help that you've been given. So without further ado, let's see who's in the chat today. We got Tim, we got Chris. Anybody else want to weigh in and say hello today? Now would be a good time to do it. We're going to dive quickly into the submissions. Just a moment. I want to give everybody a chance to kind of hop on because this was sort of a spur of the moment kind of thing. Chris Knowles, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. He says, getting the ball rolling. Speaking of getting the ball rolling, Chris has been a driving force in a recent song that we're working on here again. He's been sort of a staple here lately as far as working on songs together, collaboration, which is what I love to do. I love collaborating. I love getting people together to collaborate as well on the channel. And we worked together on the song Found with Kayla Patrick. That's going to be released at her disclosure, but it's still going to be in my portfolio as well as his. But now we're working on a song that I'm writing personally called Crossroads. And he's already throwing down some killer drum tracks to that. So I'm looking forward to see how that song is going to pan out. And hopefully maybe even today, I'm going to get to record some vocals for that, maybe even a little guitar. It's a rainy day here, so we can't really do much. But those are sometimes the best days to actually get together and try to get some music accomplished. So, all right, so without further ado, let's also give some shout outs to these individuals who are the awesome individuals who have subscribed. And you can see Chris Knowles is already taking the top of the chart here with his $10 super chat donation. And he's going to marry off another daughter. Wow. Didn't you just have a wedding last weekend, or was that just preparation for that? Maybe it was just preparation. For some reason, as soon as I said that, I thought preparation H. But anyway. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into today's song submissions. And we will kind of talk about these mixes as we normally, what we do here is we play a mix. We will sort of go back and I'll give my input as to what I feel like the mix could use to make it, you know, up to that next level. And then we will pick from the list here, which we only have 6 submissions this time around. That's actually the least amount of submissions I think we've had. Maybe I'm actually starting to reach the end of people's reservoir of songs that they've had built up. So that's a good thing. That means people are going to start writing new music now. They're going to start putting into action all of the things that we talk about here on the channel to make your music sound better. And then the next round of submissions, we're going to have another one of those. That last September edition was incredibly hard. There were so many good submissions that it was really hard for me to pick a winner. And I still have yet to get the mix. No, I did get the mix. I'm sorry. I still have yet to mix that mix of the individual that won that round. So, which that was, yeah, it was a rough one. I didn't know how I was ever going to come to a conclusion, but I did, thankfully. So, all right. So the first one that we're going to be listening to is by Audio Surgeon. The song is called Plante. And I wanted to actually, he gave me a little bit of an extra. This doesn't always happen, but sometimes they'll give you just a little bit of an extra. And he actually did. He gave me a file here that goes with it that's called About Plante. And this is what he had placed up here. I better not show that in case he doesn't want us sharing his email address. He said, I thought this song would be kind of a good vibe for Halloween. Plante by Audio Surgeon was made with FL Studio 20 with some VSTs by Flex, ROM reverb by Native Instruments, and a spooky voice in the background, which, believe it or not, is Bob Ross, heavily modified in memory of his reopening of the Bob Ross TV studio happening this Halloween 2020 in Muncie, Indiana this October. Awesome. So nice little backstory to the song there. That was kind of cool. He didn't have to do that, but he did. Which, you know, if you guys submit songs and you want to give little backstories to them, like, that's totally fine. It actually adds a little bit more depth to the song, kind of gives us all sort of an understanding of where the song is coming from. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and take a listen now to Plante. Ooh. If Mark George was here, he would automatically be like, yay. Ooh, nice. Got a lot of movement to it. I like it. Oh, wow. Ooh, pretty cool. I like that little break right there. Wow. That was definitely, that was pretty cool. I really liked that. A lot of stuff that was going on there. Um, the one thing that I would have loved to have heard was a little bit more in the arrangement of this. I think there could have been some more instrumentation that was added. However, the song in and of itself, for just being a straightforward sort of synth heavy type song, it really still was able to keep my interest pretty well. I did like the Bob Ross thing that you had going on there. I was kind of waiting for it because you had already prepped me, so that you can actually see on the track here. You can kind of see where it begins to come in. Lots of dynamics. Yeah. And because of the backstory, now I know that was Bob Ross's voice that was heavily modified there. And so that definitely made it really cool too. So yeah, great work, Audio Surgeon. As far as the EQ and everything like that, it sounded pretty straightforward. It sounded pretty nice. I would have liked to have heard just some more instrumentation. That's really the only thing really that I could offer up about that. But the rest of it was very interesting. And it also had sort of like an old Nintendo NES type flair to it. I like that. Very cool. All right, so the next song is by Bill Smith, and this song is called Because of You. Looks like it's got a longer intro here. Like that. Beautiful. Okay, wow. Man, that was, as far as the song itself, it seemed like it had so much potential. Um, there was just some areas that I felt like were lacking a little bit, and it just seemed like some minor, very minor things. But I really believe uh, the main thing that really stood out to me was there wasn't a lot of congealing or glue on the instrumentation. It seemed as if the instruments were all sort of in separate places within the same song. That's the best way I can describe that. So a good mix will almost sound as if they're all recorded and mixed and being played in the same room. And a lot of that, I think, was just for a lack of reverb. I think there was a lack of reverb being used. Now, the lead guitar, the acoustic guitar, I should say, when it first came in, much to the same point as those that are in the chat, I feel like it could have been a little bit more upfront, a little bit more present, but it did sound very well recorded. And I definitely liked that. A little bit of EQ on that, I think, could have even cleaned it up even a little bit better. There was definitely a good flow to it, though. I really liked the song as a whole. It did have a Chris had mentioned, like a smooth jazz type feel to it. And with him being a drummer, he immediately picked up on the fact that he didn't much care for the drum sound. As much as I liked the drum feel of it all, at the same time, it did sort of lack a realism to it. And so I would have loved to have heard the bass be a little bit more balanced and more upfront and present. Just because I'm getting that smooth jazz feel, I want to hear more of that bass guitar as well. The lead guitar, I think, could have used a little bit of delay too. Would have helped it to really set in the mix and maybe sort of add a little bit more to it. But really, by and large, the song itself has a ton of potential. I would like to hear some words to it as well. If you got words, that would be awesome. So I'm going to go into the chat here and make sure I'm not missing anything. I see a lot of people are still talking. If you're talking amongst yourselves, that's great. I want to give a big shout out to the dudes, which if you guys, those of you who are staples around here, you know what we do for newcomers. Let's give him a good old crowd cheer. Welcome the dudes. It's good to have you, buddy. Or good to have you guys. I don't know if it's more than one or good to have you nonetheless. He's asking about quarantine. He says, how's quarantine treating everybody? And Keith Lane, I think, summed it up for most of us. He said, to put it into words, meh. Yeah, it's been crazy. I'm officially off quarantine now due to the fact that my job is considered to be essential and still on third shift. In fact, for those of you who are here from the last stream, you know, I was about ready to make a tough decision. And given the fact that we are on quarantine, we're still social distancing, all of that madness. I did go ahead and decide to accept the job that was offered to me on night shift. So it's a higher pay increase. And I'm now officially part of the leadership team. So I've just been promoted to a team lead. It's a new chapter in life. And something I can put on the resume. So, you know, at any rate, it's really good to see you all here. Let's go ahead and listen to some more music together. Really liked that last tune. I've liked them all thus far. Now let's go on to Herky Acuff. And this one is called My Days Ended to Begin. That sounds like a cool title right there. The dudes is asking, when will I do a studio tour? I actually have a studio tour posted. It's actually pretty in-depth on the Patreon page, and that's for anybody who comes in at any level of a Patreon account. So if you're given $1 or $2 a month, you get access to quite a bit of things for that. But rather than post it here on the YouTube channel, I just did that on the Patreon page. That way, those individuals who sponsor the channel monthly get a little bit of an extra that other people don't get. And for those of you who would like to see a studio tour, maybe I'll do that in the future here on the channel as well. I did just actually get the option to open up memberships here on YouTube. I just haven't posted it yet because I didn't really feel like it was necessarily needed as of yet. But that's always an option too. Maybe I'll do a memberships only video of maybe I'll do a live studio tour. That way you guys can ask about certain pieces of gear too. I think that would be really cool. I love live anyway. You guys know that. So, all right, Herky Acuff. My days ended to begin. Ooh. Wow. That was upbeat, catchy. I liked it. It looks like Dudes has to go. I will see you later, Dudes. He asked me if I will stream tomorrow. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming tomorrow. I may be doing a live stream Saturday, however. I usually do one per week, but this week I might actually do two. We shall see. Or not this Saturday, rather. Yeah, this Saturday I work, so it will not be. This is the only one for this week. Sorry. Next week will be either Tuesday and Saturday or just one or the other. But yeah, I do go live once a week. I also have a video that's going to be coming out here in just shortly where I'm doing a pickup shootout with Warman Guitars. Look forward to that one. All right, so some brief critiques on this song. The mix actually sounded pretty good. There were some EQ adjustments I might have made to make the instrumentation sort of separate a little bit better. Also, just to my ears, it sounded as if the guitars could have been panned a little bit wider. Everything else, I mean, it was upbeat, it was catchy, it was just bouncy. I liked it. I really did. So if I had to give any critiques whatsoever, it would just be sort of a balancing of the mix, a little bit more EQ. But by and large, the song was really cool. So now we're going to listen to Keith Lane's 666 Halloween mix. He did that on purpose. All right. Let's take a listen, Keith. Ooh. Nice. Nice. It's building. Got a lot of binaural stuff going on here. Liking it. That was kind of cool. Keith is critiquing his own song.
Two, three, four, five, six, six, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3.
The ultimate evil.
5, 6.
Well, I say the less we have to do with foreign
1, 2,
we can save
3,
ourselves a lot of headache. What can he do?
6, 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well, why not?
5, 6,
Don't have to buy anything they make, do we?
2,
These Indies, Mexico, Europe. I've left my bottom dollar. Good old USA. Well, I don't know. A 100% but you expiate the bill now. Black truck, our agent goes to the salary, not
No vitamins to prevent rickets and scurvy. These are good people. Foreign cigar, you know.
Somehow I feel this song is going to end at 6:66. No, Chris, it's going to bend the laws of space and time. It's going to end at 6:66 and my system's going to crash. 6:47, okay. Right on. Well, not really a lot to offer up here in light of mix critique, other than the fact that there was just a few times where I feel like maybe some volume automation or I know Chris had mentioned maybe some explosions, but that's really just more of a subjective thing based on how you wanted the track to sound like. I do feel like I've been subliminally messaged somehow, and suddenly I want to like go sell my car and live on a mountaintop and drink Kool-Aid. But other than that, very well put together. It definitely had a lot of movement to it. Lots of binaural stuff going on in there. Very Halloween-y, if that makes sense. Very good. Liked it. Very good. I don't think there's been a submission yet that Keith hasn't posted that I was let down by. Every one of them's been really good. So, and it looks like Mark George just hopped in on the chat, and he's in just in time just for me to actually check his out. Micah just hopped in. What's up, Micah? Got some of the staples here. Subliminal lava lamp message. I'm working on it. I just got to figure out. For one, I got to figure out where I'm going to put that. Halloweeny. That needs a t-shirt. I'll put Keith's picture on it. All right. Let's listen now to Mark George's Ghost Dance. Ooh. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. I was waiting for some words to come in there right there. Loving the syncopation in this. It's just very cool. Tim is on it. Very cool. Ooh, yeah. Sweet. Mark George knocking it out of the park again. Man alive. Oh, cool. Wow. Nice. That just delivered on every emotion. I don't even know what to say right now. Mind blown. Oh, man. I feel like Mark should be hosting his own show, critiquing other people's work. That was just amazing. I got nothing. I mean, yeah, I could offer up maybe a little bit of EQ on the kick to make it just a little punchier. But it was intended to have that 80s flair to it. So honestly, sounded spot on like it was supposed to. There was stereo width. I still would have liked to have heard a bass line. It seems like that's the one thing, which it was there. It was there this time, just not quite as predominant or quite as, I'm thinking of almost like a melodic sine style, like bass line that sort of rides with it. But man, yeah. Wow. Knocking them out of the park. Next one is Tim Consley's Not Without You. While I let my brain recover from the last two, both Keith and Mark have got my binaural I don't even know if I could stand up right now. If I tried to stand up, I might fall over from all the binaural stuff going on up here. All right, Tim Consley, Not Without You. He says he wants to give a shout out to his brother Bob for the acoustic guitar and his adopted daughter Rachel Evans on drums. Oh, cool. Nice little backstory there. Thank you, buddy.
Wasted years of trying to stand against the raging winds without your steady hand. I was tossed, I was lost, I was sinking like a stone. I needed you to save me, Lord, from being on my own. 'Cause I don't wanna face a day without you.
Nice.
I don't wanna take a step without you by my side. Never let me sleep a night without you. Never let me face a day without your morning light. Not without you. No, no, not without you. Are you walking through this light by yourself?
Those drums are spot on.
Can't make it on your own. That is hell. Don't be tossed, don't be lost, don't be sinking like a stone. You need the Lord to come and save you from being on your own. 'Cause I don't wanna face a day without you. I don't wanna take a step without you by my side. Never let me sleep a night without you. Never let me face a day without your morning light. Not without you.
Very cool.
'Cause I don't wanna face a day without you. And I don't wanna take a step without you by my side. Never let me sleep a night without you. Never let me face a day without your morning light. Not without you. No, 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 not without you. No, no, not without you. No, 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 no.
Very, very good. Okay, so with this one here, it sounded as if, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded as if there was a widening plugin used on the mix. Sounded like it was done a little bit more tastefully than I've heard before, but it still, nonetheless, it sounded like it was used on the mix, and it caused the bass to sort of just muffle up a lot of things I think that could have been a lot clearer. And the other thing was the drums. The groove was really good, as Chris has already mentioned, but yet it seemed as if they weren't as present as I would have liked for them to have been. Also, the kick seemed to have just kind of disappeared in the mix completely, and the snare I think could have used a little bit more pop and snap as well. The guitars, I loved the guitars. I feel like they could have been panned a little bit better. And I also feel as if some of the EQ could have been done on those to make them actually come alive a little bit more, like in around the 5 to 6K range. If those would have been boosted in that range, I think it would have really allowed them to set a little bit more cohesively in the mix. The vocals sounded great. I love the harmonies. There was also some timing issues throughout the song that I think detracted from the song. But other than that, the song itself, lots of potential. Really cool song. Really cool song. Now, for whatever reasoning, he says, okay. He says there's no widening being used. Interesting. Okay, so, that's interesting because the bass sounded as if it was either had reverb on it or it was panned left and right, or something was going on with that bass because it wasn't right up the middle. So I'm not sure what was going on there, but really good song, lots of potential though, definitely. So out of all of them that we've listened to today, normally I would do a listen together and then I would reveal a winner. We've only got 6 submissions this time. And I think, to be perfectly honest, the clear winner, at least in my eyes, was yet again Mark George and his song Ghost Dance. Now, out of all of them that was performed and played and submitted, every one of them had their own definite specialties. Every one of them had some amazing, amazing talent involved. Mark George, his just stood out on top, just simply because the quality that came through. If I had to give a second place, it would definitely be Keith Lane's Halloween mix. They both kind of fall in that same category. The only thing that bumped Mark's into first place as opposed to Keith's, because his was first place in my mind until I heard Mark's, was just that Keith seemed to lack in some areas where Mark's, I believe, had made the difference with some of the arrangement and the dropouts and just the interest that the track built. However, I could even go as far as to say these two tied and still be able to lay my head on the pillow at night and sleep. So, but if I had to give a first place, which I do, it's going to go to Mark again. This is the second time around that he's won one of these song contests. And if I had to give it a second place, it would be Keith Lane's 666 Halloween mix, which rhymes, by the way. I didn't even think of that until I just said that. And if I had to give a third place, that would be a tough one. It would either... Yeah, third place would have to be Tim Consley's song, just because the amount of work that went into that and everything that was surrounding it. The drums, live drums are never easy to put into a mix. To get them to sound that well was really cool. So, congratulations, Mark. Congratulations, Keith. You know what? Congratulations, everybody, because every single submission was absolutely awesome as usual. There's not been one time that we've had one of these and there's been a song where everybody was just kind of like, ugh, that stinks. So that's a good sign. That means that the individuals that are coming here, the individuals that are making the music, that are submitting the music, they have a good basis for knowing what they're doing. And that's awesome. And so the purpose of all of us coming together and doing this is so that we can grow from one another. And hopefully next month, if everything pans out right, I'm going to actually throw one of mine into the mix, and then you guys can, critique me to death in the comments as well. I'd love to hear it. I am not above being critiqued myself. In fact, I have come to the conclusion a long time ago that if you ever get to the point where you're not able to take criticism, especially constructive criticism, which is the only thing that we offer here. I have never once degraded anybody or told them that they should, give up audio engineering or give up making music at all. That's not my style. And honestly, I've never had to do that anyway. But with all that being said, if you ever get to the point where you feel like you don't need the critiquing anymore, you're dead in the water. If you ever get to the point where you feel like you don't need to learn anymore, you're dead in the water. You're never going to excel any farther if you don't always keep learning. And so hopefully whenever I submit my song, you guys can point out some stuff to me that I need to fix in my mix that will make my song sound better. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys. Excellent job again. Mark, I still have the previous files from the other song that I still need to fix the drums on unless you say otherwise, but I have to go back and revisit that for the drum phase sound that you were talking about, and then I will resubmit that at the same time that I resubmit this song after you send me the Cakewalk bun file for this one. Remember, if you have any synths or anything like that that need to be mixed that I don't have, then you'll need to freeze the tracks before you send me the bun file. That way I have access to actually mix them. Likewise, for those of you who may be wondering how that all pans out, if you're not using Cakewalk, any DAW has the ability to actually... Awesome. So he did it on Fruity Loops. That's fine too. So I'm glad I'm bringing this up then. So literally all you have to do is just export the multi-tracks and make sure that the effects that you're wanting to keep on there are baked in, and those tracks that you want affected the most, just go ahead and leave them dry, and then I'll fly them all into Cakewalk. The cool thing is, a lot of people don't understand this. It doesn't matter which DAW that you're recording on, because every DAW will export the multi-tracks, and then that can be imported into any DAW. Very cool. All right, so congratulations, everybody. It was a really cool, very, very close competition yet again. I say competition, but I use that word lightly because it's not really, there's not really a competitive attitude around here. It's just, everybody's just kind of rooting for each other, which is how it should be, I think. It's really cool to see everybody doing that. So before we go, though, we have not yet spun the wheel of awesomeness, and we have to do that because, hey, every show's got to have a good wheel of awesomeness. So I'm going to bring on Casey Kasem now. Come on over here, Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wheel of awesomeness. That's right. We spin the wheel to see what's going on.
I think my Casey Kasem's getting older, or I'm losing touch with what it's actually supposed to sound like, because that one was kind of weak. By the way, the November song submission link is in the description of this video. So if you'd like to submit a song for the November song competition, the deadline will be November 25th. And that will be right around Thanksgiving, actually. You can submit your song there. And yeah, we'll have a November edition. We might just keep continuing these on until there are no more submissions to be submitted. All right, Casey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's spin the wheel. Ladies and gentlemen, it's landed on a favorite.
All right, so for those of you in the chat today, let me know, out of all of the... I'm trying to find it here. Where's it at? Okay, here we go. So we're looking for a favorite. So what I would like to know is, what is your favorite DAW? Obviously for me, it's Cakewalk by BandLab. It's going to be different for everybody. I'm not a Cakewalk hoarder. I'm not going to snob you if you're not using Cakewalk. I think every DAW has its place. In fact, I just had this conversation with individual not too long ago, actually just the other day, and he sent me a question through the Facebook page and asked me if he should switch to Studio One from Cakewalk. And I told him, I said, honestly, if it's going to work out for your particular, actually it was on the last live stream, now that I think of it. So I told him, I said, if it's going to work out for you, if it's going to work out for your particular workflow, go ahead. Awesome. Cakewalk by BandLab, says Tim Conley. I've tried Ableton Lite once and hated it. Okay. Chris Knowles says, I've been playing with Mixbus, but still primarily use Cakewalk. Oh, that's cool. I've heard a lot of good about Mixbus. Micah says, I used Ableton Live Lite, but 8 tracks are not working. Mark George says, I'm having recording issues with Cakewalk by BandLab at the moment. So it would be Cakewalk by BandLab, but Fruity Loops is a close second for me. Keith says, I'd like to get more into hardware and skip a DAW. Nice. Nice. Mark, if you don't mind, what kind of recording issues are you having with Cakewalk by BandLab? That might even be beneficial to those who are visiting the stream later. Maybe I can answer some of your problems there and maybe get you back up and rolling with Cakewalk. Not that you have to use it. I'm just saying I might be able to help in some way, shape, or form. And some great submissions, guys. Yet again, it blows me away the amount of talent that is inherent in this group. You guys are awesome. I want to also show you guys too, this doesn't always happen, but somehow an individual uploaded a video track into the folder. This is the first time it's ever happened. I was like, what is this? Someone uploaded a video track. So let's go ahead and check it out. See what this is all about. Nice. Nice, nice. Very cool. Very cool. Like I said, I don't always get a video submission, so I was kind of taken back whenever I got that. I was like, what is this? But yeah, that was definitely cool. Liked it. Always a big fan of guitar work anyway. I mean, you can't go wrong with good guitars. So, good deal. All right, so everybody has commented on their favorite DAW. Guys, yet again, it's always awesome getting together with you all, hanging out, getting to listen to some good songs, and also just generally just bouncing ideas off of one another. I'm going to go ahead and end it here just to let you guys know we are going to be having a November edition of the HSS Song Contest, so stay tuned for that. If you want to get involved, the link is in the description of the video for you to do that. I would definitely recommend that you do. Have a lot of fun around here whenever we do that. Remember, the winner will get a free mix and master from me of the song that is chosen to be the winner. Tim Consley says, warning about November, a little metal. Right on. Some cold November rain. So, nonetheless, we are going to go ahead and call this stream a done deal. And hopefully, I'm going to go into recording a little bit of a ditty on this here. So the other thing I was going to bring up too, real quickly, is I've had individuals asking me about when the tutorial that I'm releasing with Warren is going to come out, and they are still working on getting the mentor page up. So whenever that's up, I will let you guys know as soon as possible when that is live. Chris Snow says, I recently turned off the plugin optimization and changed how I was handling direct monitoring. Shoot me your computer specs via email. Awesome. Hopefully we can get you sorted out, Mark. Honestly, what it sounds like to me is you might even want to try changing your driver mode. I know here lately, it seems as if the last few updates, Cakewalk has been having trouble with ISO drivers. So what I've been doing is, if you go up here to edit, and you go to preferences, you got your driver settings here, and or is it playback and recording? Yeah. Go to playback and recording and then go to driver mode. Now, I always had this set on ISO for years. Never had any problem. But here lately, this MME 32-bit has been working wonders. I've not had any problem. In fact, I think it's honestly worked better than ASIO or ISO or whatever you want to call it. For one, I feel like it names the inputs more intelligently. As you can see here, like everything has a name, where instead of just like input 1, input 2, whereas the ASIO or ISO kind of has generic names. Yeah. So you might try that too and see if that doesn't fix it. I wouldn't try to record like a whole song, maybe just like a little snippet and see if it still does it. But a lot of times your driver mode will also have a tendency to affect your buffers. So those were Chris Knowles' drums right there. I'm anxious to get into this song. All right, so OBS loves it. Yeah. Yeah, OBS loves MME. It does not like ASIO drivers either. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But anyway. So guys, thank you so much for stopping into the stream today. Love each and every one of you. So thankful that all of you have decided to hop on today. Remember, we go live once a week to discuss Cakewalk terms, to anything and everything audio related. stay tuned on the channel as well. If you're into guitars or just audio geekery, I'm getting ready to release a video here within the next couple of hours where I did a shootout and a review of sorts on some Warman guitar pickups. If you are a guitar player and you don't know about Warman guitars, you need to check them out. They have some amazing pickups for super affordability. So check them out. Until next time, guys, let's go ahead and end the stream here. But though I will be dismissed from the stream, I will not be dismissed from your presence. Herky A Cup says hi and bye. Sorry I had work going on. Good luck in next month's contest. Awesome. Very good submission, by the way, Herky. Love the song. It was great. So until next time, guys. Peace.
Thank you.